them now, Mike. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So everybody should have those slides also. They were emailed to you, and I apologize. It looks like the slides were not being displayed on your screen. They were on mine, but not on yours. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Okay. Again, to the next slide we go. Is dialogue to create action. Remember that this is all about creating action. Ultimately, we want the prospect to say, we want an appointment. You want them to confirm an appointment with you, to come back out and visit with you. But in the meantime, you cannot get an appointment unless you have some dialogue going. So remember that the part of the opportunity management, a big part of it, is just continuing the dialogue. As long as you're continuing the dialogue, the sales process never ends. Okay? So you want to move them to action where you can. You try to ask questions that will continue the conversation, or try to give information that will continue the conversation. And here are some questions that I found that are very successful in doing that. You can open or close with some of these questions, but I think they're very useful. Like example, the second bullet point is, please let me know how your home search is progressing. A really, really great question, okay? Because a lot of times, I will tell you, in communicating with people, particularly online, whether it's through email or text message or whatever, they're a lot more open to sharing information with you because they're a lot less threatened than they are in a face-to-face environment. They just are. So if you want to ask a question about how their search is progressing, many times they will respond and let you know, hey, we're having difficulty, or we're narrowing it down, or whatever it is. And then you, again, can reply to that and get a little bit more information. The other thing that you guys often see, and I saw very frequently, are priorities change. You know, how many times did you start out with someone that wanted to build a home and they ended up buying an inventory home or a market home? That happens all the time, and the reverse is true. Just like that's true, people's priorities in terms of what they want in a home change frequently. Depending on the personality, it'll change, you know, by the day almost. So really get into also a habit of asking, you know, the question about have your priorities changed? You know, you can even say, if you understand and you've done a tour with them and done some demonstrating with them, you probably know a little bit about what they're looking for, so you can pose the question like, many times home priorities change. Are you still interested in? And then list out those things that you've collected, the information you've collected, just to get confirmation that in fact you're going off the right information. Okay. And then if you don't know as much, then just have a question, a general question like, have your priorities changed, period, or question mark, and just a simple statement. Okay. The other thing that I think is very helpful here that we get good response from is what's the most important requirement in your home search. A lot of times, you know, people start out with one thing and they end up with a different requirement. They start out not thinking that the home site is a huge requirement. They end up saying, hey, I have to have this. Or there's cultural issues, in fact, you know, in play that may mean that they need a north-facing home site. There's some other conditions that come up with even the home itself where they need a space for mother-in-law suite or things like that that were not a priority, and suddenly it become the #1 priority. And helping to determine that really will, again, continue your dialogue along. And remember, guys, just, you know, when we talked about positioning, when you're in the face-to-face, the positioning applies here too, and you can use a lot of those same questions, again, to continue the dialogue, okay? So another question you can close with, has anyone explained to you the process to purchase a home? I cannot believe how many times people will say, no, no one said anything to me. Again, you're just continuing a dialogue here. You're positioning yourself as someone that's an expert that has information that you can provide them to set you apart. Another great question, are you having trouble finding the perfect plan? That is such a great selling feature for you guys that you do allow some modifications to plans. And next to community, the floor plan is the #2 thing that people really look for. The #1 reason why people move is because of their current community, but then what becomes a big priority for folks is the plan itself. And you guys know as well as I do, there's a lot of rigidity to plans out there where you can't even slide a door down 6 inches, let alone have an opportunity to let a customer or help a customer create the perfect plan. Okay. Again, like I said before, from a distance, the prospect is less intimidated and open to you helping them provide a solution. Okay. And you probably noticed in a lot of my comments to your letters is really focus on the word solution where you can, a home solution. That's a term that's used in other industries very effectively, and we don't use it very well, I don't think. So try to use that where you can, because you are a solution provider. So here's just a couple of process things for you, just to consider in talking to you. Yeah, good question came across, and I want to go ahead and address that here. Do we need to add price? Price is not necessarily the correct subject to address in correspondence at this point in the process. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, we don't want to discuss price too much unless you're just trying to communicate a range of prices. We start here or something like that. I never ever try to communicate price in any opportunity management letter. Because again, you're trying to create value, and the earlier you talk about price, the less that you're going to be able to create value. So the longer you can delay that conversation, and matter of fact, the quicker you can move up the discussion of value, the better off you are when it comes to negotiating. So great question, and hopefully that answered it for you. Use your assistant on your days off. All of you have assistants, you know. One of the reasons a lot of times why you saw in my opportunity management letters that I had the address of where it's going to is that once they're printed, I can leave them there for my assistant to go ahead and take the address that's on the letter, fill out the envelope, you know, write the address on there in handwriting, stuff the envelopes, do all those kinds of things while I'm not there. The other thing is, you know, as you become more successful, this is what I did. Okay, as my opportunity management really took hold and really shot my sales up, I was able to have my assistant that I paid for myself additional days just to come in just to help me with some of my opportunity management. Now, keep in mind that I was running A, B, C's, and D's, a realtor track, a buyer track, a close customer track. So I was running a lot of tracks, sending out a lot of information. So really work with your assistants. They can be an invaluable asset to you when it comes to functioning and really getting your opportunity management system going. Okay. All right, one thing here just about email in general. I will tell you that it's okay to resend an email. And actually, resending emails can be one of the most effective things that you can do. And why is it effective? Because it really, psychologically, when you send it again and you ask a question, not sure if you got the original email, it almost prompts them to respond, okay? You don't want to use it a whole lot because it can become irritating if every email you send someone, you send them another one. I mean, so you understand the difference there, but particularly when it comes to working with A's or B's, if you're not getting a response, you can send that email again with that kind of opening, and many times you will get a response at that point. A little trick of the trade there for you. Okay, here are some sample letters. And also, I'll probably stop just a second here and make a comment as well. I've been really pleased with you guys in the letters that you sent me. Some of them were just so well written, so well researched, so well thought out. I was just incredibly impressed, and you know, I was pleased, you know, so you guys are starting to really, it shows me that you're starting to really kind of absorb some of the things that I've been preaching and some of the things I've been suggesting, and you're putting it to action. I just want to thank you guys for that, and you're going to benefit from it greatly. A couple other things, I'm going to ask 2 or 3 of you as we get to the end. I'm going to unmute you so you can speak and get your comments. I think 2 or 3 of you mentioned you'd be willing to do that. And I think Jenny, Michael, and I can't remember who else agreed. I think it was either Paula or Brenda. But get your comments from you 3 guys so that the other salespeople can kind of hear some of the things that you've been doing and what's been successful for you. So anyway, I look forward to those comments here. Here's the letter. Obviously, it came from Las Colinas, so it was probably Brennan's letter. I like this one a lot because it's just really catchy, you know, and you know the wow word at the beginning really grabs people. and then a discussion about what's happening in the future, and again, for more wow and still more wow. I just really think from a emotional standpoint, it creates emotion, and it makes people stop. Yeah, wow. And it really helps people to see that you're there as a solution for them, and really lets them know, hey, there's things going on. And it piques their curiosity about, hey, come back, because things are always changing, and that again is exciting for people. And I like the helping you realize your dream. I just think that's a really well written letter. Congratulations, Brendan. That was a really great job on that one. And all these letters each are different. Okay, I picked them because not necessarily they were the best letters, but because each letter was different. Okay, so I want to just show you there's different approaches to how you craft these letters and how you craft these emails. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. Okay, I think this is also one of Brenda's letters. I like this one a lot because we all heard the horror stories about home building. I mean, how many times have you worked with someone and they've told you about their brother-in-law or friend or whoever had this horrible experience, okay? So that kind of opening comment, although it's a little negative, it's attention-grabbing, and it really holds people, because then you can come right in behind it and say all the things that she said about customer satisfaction, and what does it really mean? It means peace of mind. And so you're basically taking something that's a negative and turning it into a positive. And I think that's a really powerful message. The bowling looks good. The Woodland O'Brien facts look good. And see for yourself what our customers say about us and their home. I love the ilovemydarlinghome.com and its use. You guys did a really great job of using that really well in your letters, and I would encourage you to continue to use that. I think that's a very, very powerful tool that no one else in the market that I'm aware of has. And then come back and see why our customers call it the darling difference. I like that approach a little bit too, because you're saying the customers are calling it that. I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, congratulations, Brenda, on that one. And sample letter number 3. Now this was one that I think this was Michael, and this is one I've gone back and forth a little bit on. I actually had a letter like this myself that I sent out. I would just ask you guys to kind of be very specific, like he has. If you're going to write a letter about resale value, you have to be very, very specific on it. You have to have really done your homework, and you have to really set the time perfectly, in my opinion. And I think that's why it'll be effective as well. Particularly for those people that are those analytical personalities, that are those melancholy personalities that really consider things in the future of when they may resell the home, or really consider value a big part of the buying process. And so he really illustrated here why his product, in a way, is superior to other people's products. And I think it was really well done. And it also gives, to me, it gives people a reason to take a look at American Classic and what that means. And I think he talks about that in another email that he uses, but it's well done. Congratulations on that one, Michael. That was a good one. Okay. And here's another one. This has a lot of information on it, but I think I really like it. This is one that Mike submitted to me, and I made a couple changes to it, but I really like where he was going with this letter. Again, the bolding is good, and I like his willingness to take on the difference between new versus used homes. That's a tough subject to take on, and I think he's done it here. He's done it very effectively because he's also made some direct side-by-side comparisons that people can easily see. Oh, the old Ben Franklin comparison, right? And that's kind of what this is. So done a really good job on there. I would just make sure to double-check the stats on some of these things and make sure that everything is correct. I think it looks good to me. I also love the link. I think the link is really, really, really well used. And again, that's a great example, guys, of where I was talking about use links to support what you're saying, because people will actually click them, and they'll look at video and other things. So a great letter, Mike, and I like the, please update me regarding your home search. Have your priorities changed? Really powerful letter. Very good job. Here's the fifth and last one. Okay. And then this is really good. This is an interest rate kind of and a financing kind of letter that I really liked because it took a little different spin on it than what I'd used in the past, and really promoting the lender and promoting and bolding the free lock with your Darling Homes, and that to contact me to see different financing programs that are available. Again, it gives reasons for people to call, and also just FYI, Kim, who helps me here in the office and is also my wife, you guys know, she mentioned that she just read a report and helps me collect information that they're predicting interest rates may go up 1% or 2% between now and the end of the year, which is really unusual for an election year. But just so you know, this could be a very, very, very important subject, what interest rates do. Okay. So anyway, the only question I had in here is home sales have been brisk. This might be a great place to put the Lantana total sales in there. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a great comment about the bottom, putting kind of in quotes, see your CSM for details regarding financing. I think that's probably a smart thing to do. That, again, will give them a reason to call, and it's also a bit of a disclaimer. Okay, so a good comment there, a good suggestion. And also, I like the term "build your dreams with pride," Lantana. I think Lantana is a wonderful master plan community. It's been around a long time. It's got a really great reputation. And also, here again, a reference of want to see what our customers are saying, visit us at I Love My Darling Homes and see the Darling difference. Again, somewhere I would also include a question that people can respond to. Even if it's in a direct mail piece, you can still do that, because then you can follow that up and just simply say to people, hey, I had a question I asked you in the direct mail piece. We're just hoping that maybe you'd have an opportunity to think about it, and maybe there's something I can do to help. So anyway. All right, next slide. Okay, I think I want to stop right here and get a couple of questions from some of you, or get a couple of comments from some of you guys. Michael, I'm gonna look through here and unmute you. So hang on one second, buddy. Let me see if I can get you online here. Michael, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Michael. Hey, would you mind taking a couple of minutes and just talking real briefly about your experience with your opportunity management, or with your proposal approach to use doing the proposal, and how that works for you?
Sure. I think you're probably referring to our discussion about Jason Hubbard. I called him up, asked him, how things were going and everything, and I said, look, I have a proposal for you to purchase this home, and I wanted to go over it with you. And he responded to that very well, and it worked like a champ. So it worked great for me to get him to get off the fence and come on out.
Okay, well, great. Anybody else you tried it with and got a positive response? Maybe didn't convert to a contract, but at least got you a very positive response?
Yeah, it's gotten a couple of people to come back out.
Good.
And a couple of times it hasn't converted to a contract, but it definitely gets people to do something, and that's what I like about it.
Did it allow you to make the sale on that first one?
It did. Of course, I had to bust it a couple of days later because his closing didn't happen in Kentucky, but it did it did allow me to make the sale on that first one.
All right, great. And then the biggest part, of course, what we're trying to focus in on here is that it allows, it allows you to get that appointment. And it sounds like you got 2 or 3 appointments by using that approach, and that's really our goal.
Right. Yeah. It's a very. I mean, I love it, and it's easy. And a lot of times you will get them trying to get you to give it to you over the phone. That's the one consistent thing I've run into, but you kind of have to stick to your guns and just say, look, it's a lot of information to go over, and I really need you to come on in and let's sit down and take a look at it, because I don't want to ruin it by giving this to you over the phone.
Right. That's right. That's a great comment too, because we have to. That's going to be the objection. They're going to say, "Hey, well, can you tell me a little bit about it now?" And it's got to be just like you said. I mean, there's so much information to cover, so many details, and there's a lot of give and take with these proposals, because sometimes your priorities have changed, and it's best that we just kind of do it face to face. I mean, so any of those kinds of approaches is best. But you're right. You have to stick to your guns. You can't go over it on the phone. You can't sell a home on the phone. You guys remember that. Michael, great job. Any other comments?
No, I just wanted to thank you for all of the tips and everything. It's been very helpful, and I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks a bunch. I'm going to click on over to Brenda, I think. And let me see here. I think it was Brenda. I'm going to embarrass myself if it wasn't. Well, I can't get Brenda's here anyway. If she's on the phone.
Good morning.
Hey, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, fine. How are you?
Very good. I just wanted to see if you would comment just on the challenges of getting this up and running, but also how you're feeling about some of the preliminary results that you're getting, because you're in a very busy community, and
Yes.
I'd like everyone to kind of hear your comments about things so far.
Right. I work in a model home village, so there's very little opportunity for me to talk for lengthy or get to know my prospects when they come. So the OM worksheet has been a tremendous help for me, because it helps me remember who they are, and when I have the form completed for follow-up phone call or proposal phone call, a solid piece of information for me to be able to carry out solutions to my prospects, and we're able to get a lot of feedback appointments from the OM worksheet. And overall, I've used all of your technique. It's been helping me tremendously. The letters I sent out, I constantly stay in touch with my prospects. And this weekend, I was able to get 2 feedback appointments using the proposal technique. And I took a hold yesterday, hopefully to build a home for one of my feedbacks.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I don't think I can comment further on that. That's just a great job, and you keep doing what you're doing, because the thing is, too, and like many of you guys already know, it's a lot about momentum. I mean, it takes time and consistent effort in order to build the momentum to get you to that point where things kind of take on its own. It kind of takes on its own life, and then your challenge is going to be just sticking to it, because you're going to be getting so much feedback from people and so much interaction from people, and you're going to write deals and have things on the books that you're going to be handling people that are current customers of yours. Then the challenge becomes staying with it, and so just keep doing what you're doing, Jenny, and hopefully everybody is having some positive experiences with that. Is there anyone else out there who wants to comment? I'd love to unmute you and kind of get your feedback on what's happening. Again, thanks, Jenny, for your comments.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm going to talk about the OM Reg card here on the back of it, and if anybody does want to make a comment about how things are going for them so far, I would love to hear it. And or if you just want to write a comment, I can certainly read it as well. And so we can certainly share the information among us, because as you guys know, and as I've mentioned and said in my emails to you all, is that I really feel like the best way to learn is from the experiences of other people. I can teach all the techniques and all the different things in the world, but how you guys actually apply it in the field and the response you get really, to me, is a teachable moment for everybody. Okay, so anyway, I look forward to hopefully 1 or 2 of you more raising your hand and getting some comments. Back to our presentation here. The back of the OM card this is what I've come up with so far in order to put the back on at the back of the registration card. I kind of toned down some of the words, changed some of them up to soften them a little bit, and hopefully this will work. I would just encourage you guys, to take a look at this and make any comments that y'all have back to me. Just remember that what its ultimate purpose is. So I don't want to take away too much from that, but if there's words I can change or rearranging the information, would definitely be open to suggestions there. But that's what I've come up with so far. Look forward to your comments back on that. All right, we've pretty much reached the end of the program today, and just wanted to thank you all again on your continued work and continued information that you've provided me. Keep the letters coming. I don't think I've got letters from everybody, but boy, I sure cranked out a bunch of them over the weekend. One thing I will tell you, I probably should mention to you, a lot of these are in Word documents, so if you send it to me in a Word document, I'll send it back to you as a Word document. I may use Word, it's basically Word monitoring. It kind of monitors the changes. You can go back into that and click it, and it'll allow you to accept all the changes all at once, or you can accept the changes one at a time. The other thing that I would like to encourage you to do is, and this is probably your assignment, I guess, for next time, is take the letters that I've sent you, go ahead and make them, accept the changes or don't, make the changes that need to be made to them, and then send me back all 4 of the letters. I think you'll have 4 by now. All 4 of the letters that have been adjusted and changed and edited that you feel really comfortable with. All right, we got a question. Let me check this question out real quick. Okay, yeah, and just let me encourage everyone that hasn't sent me the letters to go ahead and do so. If you have not received letters from me to this point, then I don't have them. I don't have the letters that you sent me. They either didn't come through or some other technical issue happened. The only exception to that would be, I think I got one late yesterday that I did not get to, but other than that, all the ones that I've received, I've sent back out either both of the letters that they've sent or at least one of the 2 letters. And some of you have done a great job and sent me 6, 7, 8 letters, which has been kind of challenging for me. I think one of you, I think it was Bob. I think, Bob, I commented on 4 of your letters, so you had a whole bunch of them. So great job with that. All right, guys, that's your assignment for next time. Let's get those 4 letters that you edited and that are working letters for you and send them back to me. Let me have one last look at them, and we'll go from there. And Becky, Mark, Ross, anybody have any comments that you guys want to add?
No, I'm good, Mike. Thank you very much.
Ross, are you still on, or did you have to check out?
No, I'm here. We're great. I mean, this is, the feedback, some of the comments you've shared. I like the thanking them for their visit. That's a nice touch right there. So, one question: when we had the footnote at the bottom of the letters, I think we should refer to ourselves as community sales managers and not CSMs, because prospects may not know what a CSM is.
Exactly. I completely agree. And yeah, and even I noticed on some of the letters, some of you guys put like 90 foot with a little hash mark, which indicates feet. We probably want to give more explanation to that. So anything, try not to use acronyms too much in general. Try to use the full length of it so people completely understand what you're saying. Thanks, Ross. Becky, you have any closing comments, anything you want to share?
I just want to thank everyone for going through the pain of getting to this webinar. I think everyone was very successful. I think we had very few glitches. So now that we've done it once, I think it'll be easier for everyone as we go forward. And just wanted to thank everyone for their time and you for your time, Mike. We appreciate it.
You bet. You guys have a great week. Go sell something. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.